All right, thank you.
All right, welcome everyone to the August 2021 meeting of the Memphis Astronomical Society. I'm your host, Jeremy Velbin. We've got a great program for you guys tonight. Got a lot of material to cover. We got our good friend, Joanne Rhodes from the University of Memphis, who's going to be telling us about some of the exciting projects going on over there. But first, we got some preliminaries to cover and some usual August business that we get to every year around this time of year. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen a minute and kick this off. So first of all, we are the Memphis Astronomical Society. We are a nonprofit public service organization promoting interest in education in astronomy and related sciences. You can find us at our website, memphisastro.org. And of course, we're on social media. We have a Facebook group, we have a Twitter account, and we have a YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, please take a minute to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I want to say a special thanks to the now more than 2,000 subscribers to this channel. Thank you again for being a part of our community. Hope you get a lot of value out of tonight's meeting and looking forward to continuing to build this community and having you as a part of our ongoing efforts to spread the word and the passion of this fantastic hobby. So welcome. And again, on our website, if you are interested in joining the Memphis Astronomical Society, you can go to the join button. There's two places, and it will bring up a separate form. Just fill it out, and we will welcome you as a part of our community, and you'll be added to our email list immediately. You can also go to the website joinmas.com, just enter your name and your email address. And again, we send notices out about once a week regarding upcoming meetings, public outreach events, observing sessions, and of course, the go, no-go notices whenever observing sessions are scheduled. So if you're not on our email list already and you'd like to be added, just go to joinmas.com or just go to our website, memphisastro.org, and enter your details. And again, we will send you notices about once a week regarding upcoming events. Calendar of events. Again, we got another busy month, weather permitting, coming up. Of course, we got the meeting tonight. Tomorrow night, if it's clear and if the conditions are reasonable, we are planning to be at Burton Sugar Farm. That's our dark sky observing session. We do 2 of these a month around the time of the new moon. So look for the go, no-go notice if you're on our email list. We send it out tomorrow about mid-afternoon, and we'll make the call depending on the weather. But if we can get out and do some observing tomorrow night, then we will take a shot at it. That's August the 7th. And we got some other events coming up later in the month that I want to make you aware of. But I also want to tell you that we do have an outreach team now that was formed last month. And for those of you who came out to our event last Friday, you're seeing that this team is already starting to bear quite a bit of fruit. We had quite a turnout at the Museum of Science and History, MOSH, formerly known as the Pink Palace. So the skies were not the most favorable, but we did have well over 15 telescopes come out and a lot of great participation. So I'll talk more about this team in a second, but they did put a bug in my ear and wanted me to notify you of a couple of outreach events that we've got coming up this month. And one of them will be next Friday. And that, of course, is Friday the 13th. We're planning to be at Strawberry Plains Audubon Center. This is a public observing session, and this is in Mississippi, not too far from Holly Springs. It's the address is actually 285 Plains Road, Holly Springs, Mississippi. So if you got a telescope and you want to get out and the skies are clear, make the drive. We'd love to have you at this event. And again, that's next Friday, the 13th. At 7 p.m., Strawberry Plains Audubon Center, public observing session. So again, we'll send the go, no-go notice out regarding this event as well, depending on the weather. Now, the following day, August the 14th, we're going to be at Shelby Farms, P5 parking area. That's across from the Visitor Center, across Hyde Lake, and across from the Visitor Center. And this is where we do our public outreach events once a month. And so we're going to be there next Saturday, August the 14th. Again, weather pending. However, we're adding a little twist this time. If you are a telescope owner and you would like some assistance in getting hands-on help and mentoring using your telescope, get there around 7 o'clock. We will have a few of our experienced members and telescope operators there on hand to help you with whatever you need, whether it's getting it set up, doing go-to, if you have a go-to controller, polar alignment, or if you just have a Dobsonian and you want to know which end the eyepiece goes in, whatever type of telescope you have and whatever your needs are. We will have people on hand. Again, next Saturday, August the 14th, Shelby Farms, P5, South Hyde Lake parking area, Shelby Farms. So this is your opportunity before we get into the observing event for that night to get some hands-on help. So, and we're planning to do this more regularly now. In the past, we just did it once a year around the time of the holidays when we have our Buying Your First Telescope seminar. But we want to do this a little bit more regularly now because we're getting requests coming in from people who need help with their telescopes. So mark your calendars if you would like some assistance from some of our members. And again, we're planning to do this more regularly, but we'll be here, we'll be there unless it's raining next Saturday, Shelby Farms, P5, South Hyde Lake parking area. And again, if you're coming from Walnut Grove heading due east, you'll take a left on Farm Road, and then you'll see the sign for P5 parking area. So that's where we'll be next Saturday, August the 14th. And for outreach requests, our point person is Sarita Joshi. So if you have an event that you would either like a presenter for or a telescope for, whether it's an observing event or an astronomical presentation, email Sarita and she will follow up with the outreach team and we will see what resources we need to provide to get this scheduled. We are getting busy. I will tell you the calendar's filling up. Next couple of months are going to be quite full. But if you're a school or if you're, a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout group or just any group for that matter, we've had people who have wedding receptions reach out to us. So we'll be happy to do what we can to provide you with quality astronomical assistance, whether it's presentations, observing, or any type of outreach. All right, want to welcome a few new members to our group tonight. And again, I won't put anybody on the spot by welcoming you, but just kind of informal welcome, let me put it that way. Little Freudian slip there, but we have a long-standing tradition of welcoming new members and them not actually attending the meeting when we announce them. So I'll just go ahead and do this generically. Timothy Benko, and Timothy is actually from New Jersey. He's a member of the New Jersey Astronomical Society, and he's in the process of converting a very large telescope into a push-to scope at the New Jersey Astronomical Association. And he came across our YouTube channel and one of the videos that Rick actually posted. So welcome to our group, Timothy, and hopefully we can give you the assistance that you need. James Sidney Jones III is an anesthesiologist. He's right here in Memphis. He does have a telescope and he needs someone to help him learn how to use it. Well, there you go. Again, next Saturday, August the 14th. If you're available, come on out to Shelby Farms. Welcome to our group. Cassidy Tompkins is actually from Jackson State University, and she found out about us last Saturday at the Pink Palace event, went to the table and got some information on our group and has now joined the Memphis Astronomical Society. So Cassidy, welcome. And then Dr. Charlie Varner, and he's a psychologist and he found out about us. He actually has a couple of telescopes. He's got an 8-inch Dob, a 6-inch Dob, a standard Questar, and he took astronomy in college. So welcome everyone. Very happy to have you a part of our community. And hopefully we can provide you the assistance and the content that you need. But it's great to have you on board. All right, and when you become a member of the Memphis Astronomical Society, you get access to our newsletter, The Meteorite. Would encourage you to check out this month's edition. Got some great information in there again. And again, you can read minutes from our past board meetings. We have an astrophotography gallery, sky maps for the month, and then always an article from one of our members. So check out the Meteorite if you're a member. I did want to show you this picture. This has kind of been indicative of what we've been facing recently. So this is a picture that was passed to me earlier this week. It's not by an MAS member. It was actually one of my colleagues sent me this, and her daughter snapped this picture in Jackson, Tennessee, heading due west at 6 o'clock in the morning. And it looks like the sun, it's actually the moon setting, and you're seeing the light severely distorted as a result of the smoke that we've had from the wildfires out west. So in addition to clouds, we've been battling poor seeing conditions due to smoke from the wildfires. But thought this was a pretty cool image I would show. And we certainly hope that that will improve. But yeah, that's been our nemesis this year. In addition to the on and off struggles with the pandemic, we've also had poor weather, clouds, rain, and then now smoke. So we're hoping that that changes in the near future. Okay, also want to remind you that we have our astrophotography focus group meeting coming up this month, August 2021. We do this once a month around the time of the full moon, because when the moon is bright, there's not much to look at. But again, this is a group that's headed up by Rick Honey. We've had several meetings now. We're actually going through PixInsight and some image processing techniques off of data sets that were purchased from Martin Pugh. So it's kind of a fascinating class. We've had some really intriguing sessions, content-rich sessions, if you will, by some of our experienced members. Merrill Miller in particular, he's been in this hobby now for the better part of 20 years, has a sky shed in his backyard, and just does a magnificent job with image processing. So he's been really heading up this effort along with Rick. So if you're interested, mark your calendars for August the 21st. It'll be at 7 p.m. We will post the Zoom link to our website, memphisastro.org, as well as send out the email notice. And if you missed our past meetings, you can actually check them out on our YouTube channel. You can see that we posted the last 3 months, May, June, and July, along with videos from our past meetings. So we'll put links up here so you can check that out. But if you haven't already and you'd like to catch up, if you're coming in midstream, you can always go watch our past meetings on our YouTube channel. And of course, subscribe at Memphis Astron Society. Okay, Luminous. So 2 months from now, October the 8th, we are planning to show the documentary film Luminous. And this will be at the Pink Palace. Again, we're kind of monitoring the COVID situation. We assume that it's going away because of the availability of the vaccine, but you know, it's touch and go. But assuming that they let us in, we are planning to be at the Pink Palace Planetarium October the 8th at 7 p.m. to show Luminous. And for those of you who don't, this is a documentary film from an astronomy professor in Western Michigan. When astronomy professor Larry Molinar stumbles across a strange star, he and his students embark on a dramatic journey of scientific discovery that brings their unlikely team into the international spotlight. Luminous tells the story of the first astronomer in history to publicly predict the near future explosion of a star. If he's right, 2022 will see the closest thing to a supernova in the skies of Earth in 400 years. And every school kid in the Northern Hemisphere will know it. But the prediction is high risk. Others in the astronomical community are skeptical, and Larry's professional reputation hangs in the balance. Luminous, a feature documentary by award-winning filmmaker Sam Smart, follows Larry's journey to test his unprecedented prediction. So that will be October the 8th. Should be intriguing. It's going to be about 90 minutes. And we are planning, hopefully, to have a Q&A session following it up. At least that's what they've requested. So this could probably be essentially our first return to in-person meetings. And again, we're kind of monitoring the situation. We don't have the green light yet from CBU to resume meetings over there. So we've discussed this on the board and have decided to keep things via Zoom for now, not explore alternative sites to meet just because it would complicate things. But mark your calendars for this. This could be interesting. October the 8th at the Pink Palace Planetarium, the documentary film Luminous. So we will send out more information on this as well. All right, fall elections. So it's that time of year again, and every August we select a nominating committee to go out and solicit interest from anyone who might be interested in serving on the board. And of course, these positions are opening up again. So if there's a position you would like to run for or rerun for, now's the time. So I just want to make you aware of that if you are a paying member. So we've got, of course, president, secretary, treasurer, VP of programs, VP of observing. So now, going to do things a little different this year. A little different, not necessarily different, just as much as add another dimension. The Memphis Astronomical Society is growing. And along with growth comes not only opportunity, but responsibility. And here's where I got to kind of get on my presidential soapbox for a minute. All right. This is a volunteer organization, and the purpose of the Memphis Astronomical Society is to be a relaxing pastime, to share the passion with others, and it should be fun. Bottom line, should be fun. And this is not, I'm not in any way trying to imply that I'm overburdening anybody with work. However, let me just be clear on one thing. If you are a paying member and you would like to get more involved and play an active role in helping us, we have got opportunities for you. I want you. We need your help. The board can't do everything by itself. We need participation from the general membership. So to that end, one of my tasks, if you will, as president is to, at times, appoint committees. And now the term committee is a very, very bad word, all right? It always has a negative connotation. What comes into your mind when you think committee? Number one, meetings. Number two, work. Nobody wants to attend meetings and nobody wants to do work. So we got to change things up a little bit. We got to change the mindset, make this a little bit more palatable. So we're not going to use the term committee anymore. We're going to just go ahead and scratch that off, and we're going to replace that with another term. But these are the 6 teams that I'm looking to potentially form within the next several weeks, months, however long it takes. And it's already happened. We have an outreach team, as I mentioned before. This is a great team. Mark is the vice president of observing. He's done a phenomenal job over the years, but it's really hard when you're all alone in a task because it's a situation where you're kind of left on an island, right? I want to change that if we can going forward. A team like this, you have anytime you get 3 or 4 people or 5 people talking and sharing ideas, things happen, synergy happens. And that really presents the possibility for not only growth, but it gives people a home, a place to go, a team to be involved in, and an opportunity to participate on whatever level you would like to participate. This is a good team. And the reason why I really like this team is because I think every member in this team, what they're doing caters to their specific strengths and also to their passions. And it seems to be working well. I mean, there's already a Slack channel in place specifically for this outreach team. I've got several events lined up. So it's been exciting to see this happen. And I'm hoping going forward that we can do this in some of the other areas that I think we need to develop teams for. One of them is finance. Now, again, we have a treasurer. Being treasurer of an organization sucks. Nobody wants to do it. It's an unenviable task. Our current treasurer is begging to be fired. Doesn't want to do it anymore. So the purpose of this finance group is so that there can be cross collaboration, sharing of knowledge, and whenever someone is ready to step down from a position, there already is someone in place potentially ready to step in. And it also helps simplify things. So we need a finance team. Now, again, finance committee is a very bad term. Doesn't sell very well. So how do we make it more palatable? I present to you Team Gecko. And this is what basically what your objective is: to support the treasurer, simplify the finances. And again, if there ever is a time when we need to raise funds for a future MAS outreach event, that could be one of your mandates too. But again, essentially, it's just to get people talking and collaborating. Very few, if any, meetings at all. Just transfer of knowledge so that whoever is ready to step into that role can be ready. I'm calling it Team Gecko. If you guys are interested in serving on this particular team, you can call it whatever you want. But if you are interested, again, I'm looking for the person with the accounting background, bookkeeping background. You're very organized. You're good with numbers, and that's just kind of your thing. We got an opportunity for you if you want to serve on Team Gecko.
Any QuickBooks experts would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And as treasurer, I will commit now to double anyone's salary for this effort.
Need I say more? Treasurer. All right. Programming. Obviously, this is an important one. Every month we got to come up with speakers, presenters. I'm calling it team content. Don't have a creative name for it right now. Now, this one, again, has been one that traditionally nobody really wants to do. Do you want to be vice president of programs? People kind of shy away from it because it seems like it's a lot of work. I disagree. I served as the vice president of programs for a couple of years and absolutely loved it. Think about it. You have the opportunity, if you serve on this team, to determine the course that the MAS goes. And you can select speakers to present on topics that you're interested in, and you can shape the content and the programming for our group. And that's essentially what I did for a couple of years. Absolutely loved it. You can see in the past, we've had speakers from NASA come in. Earlier this year, because of the Zoom culture that we've got now, we were able to get somebody who wrote an article for Sky and Telescope magazine. Those guys are out there. It's just a matter of being a little proactive and reaching out to them. But I'm telling you, if we get 4 or 5 people, even just a couple of people participating in this effort, we can get some great program. We already have. This is basically what we've been doing this year. All right. Freddie is technically the vice president of programs, but he ain't done squat this year. We've been helping him out. I'm kidding. No, Freddie, you've done a lot. But we've definitely helped them out this year. We've kind of been doing this by committee already. So if you are interested in serving on team content, again, let me know. We have a role for you. Publicity. Again, we're doing this too. And this is essentially to promote or advertise any upcoming events or meetings. We've got an email list. We've got newsletters. I'm envisioning a lot of potential growth with this group too, including working on our newsletter. Every month we got to get articles written. We've got to get photos out. We've got press releases, reaching out to the media, anything to do with advertising, publicity, newsletters, just, kind of promoting what we do. Yeah, that's actually separate. I'll get into that separately. But the reason why this team is so important is we had somebody a couple of years ago who basically said, I don't like the meteorite. I want to give it a facelift so that it's actually something that people want to read, actually worth reading. So this individual went out and revamped our newsletter, and he did a fantastic job. I mean, gave it a facelift. It looks great. Problem is, 1 year later, he's burnt out, wants to resign. I've done enough for the MAS, time to step down. And then that transfer of knowledge from the process that he started was kind of clunky. Now, the person who's followed up has done a tremendous job. So we've been able to pick up. But I tell you, it was not an easy transition to get from where he was to where we are now. And it took a tremendous amount of effort. And it's also a tremendous burden on our current secretary, who's got a lot on her plate already as well, between the board meetings and the minutes and everything else, as well as all this stuff. So this is an essential team. If we can get people, again, I'm envisioning somebody who maybe has a background in this or a passion for it. We could turn over our email marketing programs and campaigns to you. You could take over from there. It would just be tremendous value add if we get this going. Team publicity. If you're interested, obviously, let me know. And then this is another big one. Maybe, all these are important, but telescope mentoring. We are getting people reaching out to us regularly who need help and assistance with their telescopes, including some of our members, our new members tonight. So this is becoming more and more of a common thing where somebody finds us on YouTube or attends one of our events and they need some help. Now, again, telescope mentoring committee, not real sexy. So how do we spice this up and make it more interesting? I'm calling it Team Borg. And your objective is to create as many CTOs as possible, competent telescope operators. What would be really cool is to go to an outreach event, see someone who didn't know one end of a telescope from another when he started or she started, and now they're out there slewing to targets and showing people the rings of Saturn or the moons of Jupiter or the globular clusters in the eyepiece, and they've got a working knowledge of it, man. You've been assimilated. You are now a competent telescope operator, a CTO. So this is our mandate going forward every month, to try and help people who have telescopes become proficient and competent on a regular basis so that they can help us out too. Whenever we have, the more people we have, the more CTOs we have, the easier it's going to be for the outreach team to field outreach requests whenever we need telescopes. So Team Borg. Now, someone brought this to me as well. You can call yourselves, again, whatever you want. The Light Bucket Brigade, that's another creative name. So if you want to go with that or with any other name you want to call yourselves, I'm looking for a few people, 4 or 5 people who want to get involved in helping and assisting others to become proficient with their telescopes. So if you're interested, let me know. Okay, I want to mention the passing of 2 individuals who are longtime contributors of the Memphis Astronomical Society, and they passed away earlier this year. And that's Tom Richardson and Roy Tucker. I did not know Roy. I did know Tom, had the privilege to serve with him on the MAS board for a few years. He was actually our vice president of programs for a couple of years and had a pretty interesting format where you had a theoretical talk followed by, or a practical talk and a theoretical talk. Tom had a sense of humor. There was a certain wit about him. I was on his email list. Some of you were as well. And we got regular emails once a week with updates from Bernard Miller, I believe it was, Astrophotography. I live in my inbox. It's what I do for a living. There's a lot of stuff. So whenever I would get an email from Tom, it was a welcome relief to just kind of escape for a minute to Oasis and just see these spectacular images that he was sharing. So when I learned of his passing at one of our May observing sessions, it was both a shock and it was kind of sad. Having said that, my last memory of Tom Richardson will be deep twilight, observing at Burton Sugar Farm, a crescent moon in the sky and the planet Mercury on the horizon. May, of course, was Mercury month. And just that moment when I heard of his passing, after getting an email from him just a couple of days ago, sharing another image from Bernard Miller, I think somewhere he would kind of smile a little bit if he knew that that was the moment in which somebody learned of his passing. And then after that, we go and knock out a bunch of Messiers. So May, of course, is always a beautiful month. That was a beautiful night. I know he would smile if he knew that somebody was nerding out on planet Mercury. That's what makes this hobby so great. You know, somebody looks at it and sees a dot in the sky. One of us looks at it and we're just thrilled that we can see Mercury naked eye on the horizon. So that was Tom. That will be my last memory of him. And that observing session will always be dedicated to the memory of Tom Richardson. Now, Roy Tucker, this one's a little harder for me because Roy was a longtime contributor of our group. And he did confide in me that he had cancer a year ago, asked me to keep it confidential. And we exchanged several emails. And he has an impressive resume of accomplishments. He did send me several snapshots of plaques that he has. You can see one right here, in recognition of excellence plaque awarded to due to his year's worth of contributions to motes, archive data at the photometric pipeline. So this is one of a couple of different plaques that he shared with me. Here's another one. This is one of the actual candidates, science sensors for LSST. I would be able to provide the associated laboratory test document for this device. It's a working CCC, except it didn't meet full requirements, but it's a little historical artifact. And for those of you who don't know, Roy Tucker has discovered several asteroids, including the one that's going to make a near-Earth pass in the year 2029. That's Apophis. I believe it's going to come closer to the Earth than the moon is in our orbit. And it won't hit us, but there is a small chance that it could be set up for a collision 8 years later in the year 2037. So Roy did reach out to me. This is one of the last emails he sent me. Here's another idea for you. I have over 600 asteroids that need names. How about I offer the membership of the MAS 10 asteroids for naming? The rules are described at, and he gives the link here. Names proposed should be for meritorious scientists, engineers, authors, artists, composers, musicians, actors, etc. People who have contributed positively to our modern world and culture. Bonus points of the announcement of the naming will make a lot of people happy. Discussions of possible names must be secret. The minor planet condemns the pre-announcement of possible names. Proposed citations should be sent to me in pure ASCII format. Ready for submission. I will have veto power. I expect the first one or two to have hiccups, and we'll get those straightened out, and you'll learn how it's done. Do a good job, and I can make more names available. So sadly, we didn't get an opportunity to capitalize on this. He passed away back in March, and it's too bad. We missed a great opportunity to really acknowledge and honor him in the final moments. So, but having said that, he did name an asteroid after, of course, longtime member Bill Bustler a few years ago. And you can see here him receiving the award a few years ago at one of our meetings. So 55-320 Bustler is one of the asteroids that he named. He discovered over 600 of these things, and he had just an incredible resume of accomplishments. So that's Roy Tucker. And the passing of these two individuals is just another reminder of the importance of this team. And the Memphis Astronomical Society is coming up on its 70th anniversary. There's a rich, long history that goes back to these three individuals observing a meteor shower in August in their backyard in 1953. In fact, the date of the peak of the Perseids this year is the exact date that this image was taken, August 11. So, and this is where it started. So we have a long, rich history, and it's important that as time continues that we make a concerted effort to preserve that and acknowledge those that have come before us, because it's pretty impressive what they've done. And the main thing is, you know, we can talk resumes and telescopes all you want. You got three guys in the backyard looking up at the sky in awe and wonder. That's how this starts. And that never goes away, regardless of your age. So it's impressive, and it's both humbling to be a small part of this rich history. And with that, I will just be silent for a second if anybody wants to say anything. Okay, again, if you're interested, send me an email. We've got opportunities on these teams. I'm sure there will be others. Again, this could take months, it could take years for this to develop. And it may not happen at all. I mean, this could die a horrible death and we could be right back where we started. But that's kind of my vision for where I'd like to go in the future. But again, it's wide open right now. If you're a paying member and you want to run for a position, you want to be president, you want to be vice president, you want to be secretary, treasurer, we've got opportunities for you. So think about what role you'd like to play. And, you know, those of us who have served, I'm sure some of us would be willing to do it again, but there's some of us who'd be willing to step aside too. So Okay,
Pardon me, sir.
I'm sorry?
Pardon me, sir.
Yes.
I just had a brief comment I put in the chat, a request for outreach.
Okay. Well, we
Hi,
will.
Jeremy, this is Sarita Joshi.
Yep.
I have acknowledged that in the chat as well, and I will take it back to the outreach committee to be discussed.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. If I weren't in Virginia, I'd dearly like to be a member of your astronomy society, and I would be willing to do a lot of work for you, but I'm not even in Tennessee.
We can do everything remotely. Participation, that's where it starts.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you. Okay, with that, I am going to go ahead and hand it over to our presenter for tonight. And that is my good friend, Joanne Rhodes, who teaches physics and astronomy at the University of Memphis. And I just want to say a couple things here as I introduce her. Joanne graduated from the University of Memphis with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and a BS in Physics. While an undergraduate University of Memphis student, she began doing basic physics research in the Department of Physics, which led to her first research publication. After graduation, she did research for the Department of Defense in advanced optical signal processing techniques. This work led to a patent for an optical adaptive filter, the first real-time optical feedback system. The invention and experimental results have been included in 2 books on optical electronics. Still at the Department of Defense, she returned to research begun at the University of Memphis with irradiated crystals for applications in radiation dysometry. After several years of publishing in this field of research, she returned to the University of Memphis and completed her Master of Science degree in the Department of Physics. Ms. Rhodes began teaching and enjoyed it so much that her interest shifted toward math and physics education. She has taught in the Department of Physics and or the Department of Mathematics at several colleges and universities in Memphis and in St. Louis. She joined the faculty of the Department of Physics at the University of Memphis and has been teaching classes in astronomy and conceptual physics there since 2009. In 2016, she received an Excellence in Teaching Award given annually by the Briggs Foundation. She has developed an online course for survey of astronomy as well as a traditional course, Astronomy 2. She continues to enjoy sharing her passion about physics and astronomy with her students and highly values increasing students' science literacy in the process. So with that, I will turn the meeting over to Joanne. Joanne, welcome. Take it away.
I was muted. Oh my goodness. Okay. You would think that after teaching on Zoom for almost a year and a half that I would learn, but I'm still having a battle with the mute button. I'm really happy to be here. I hope you don't mind my cats. They hop around, but they did that when I was teaching too. And it actually made the students feel better. So, before I get started on my presentation, I realized while Jeremy was talking about people from the past that went to, that were part of the Memphis Astronomical Society, I realized that I really feel moved to share that I have a cousin that I was not close to, okay? But the one thing we had in common was a love of astronomy. And he was born in 1948. I had not seen him for 45 years, I think. And I just saw him last month. He lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm curious as to whether or not anybody here knew him when he was here. His name's David Farley. Does anyone know David Farley? Nope. Okay. I just thought I'd give it a try. I told him that I was in contact with people here. And anyway, he's in a nursing home and I went to see him. All right, moving on. The main thing that I was going to talk about is the Voyage Solar System Model that I've been working on getting for the main campus at the University of Memphis. And I mentioned to Jeremy, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or something, that the same nonprofit also has student space flight experiment program that is something that we could move it on into. But then when he put the newsletter, the announcement out, it sounded like we already had it. And I thought, boy, I would love to hear that talk, but we don't have it. It's something that we might have if the way opens to do that. It's just one of those things that having the Voyage Solar System Model can be a gateway to all kinds of different activities that promote STEM, promote science literacy, and could just be a lot of fun. So I will mention that near the end. But I'm going to mainly talk about the Voyage Solar System Model. So I'm going to start when I was 5 years old. And I opened a bank account. And way, way back then, I'm 63, by the way. Back then, if you opened a bank account as a child, they would give you a gift. And this is what I got. This is my solar system bank. And it was the People's State Bank in Millington, I think. My mom worked at the naval base. So I got this, and I was amazed that we lived on a ball, because these are, it's not just a map. These are balls in here. And I was amazed that we lived on a ball, and I just wondered why it was that people didn't fall off the bottom. And that was how I got interested in physics and astronomy. Gravity is still amazing. It's still mysterious. We're still doing all kinds of research, understanding gravity better. We've got dark matter. We've got gravity waves. We've got black holes and active black holes at the center of galaxies, the active galactic nuclei. We've got all kinds of things that, and of course, just relativity. We wouldn't have understood any of that without Einstein figuring out relativity, which still just totally amazes me. Anyway, so I have always been interested in astronomy, and I did not, you might be wondering, why didn't I do research in that? Well, that would have been nice. I had an interview with NSA and an interview with NASA the same day, and the person at NASA discouraged me. And I don't know. Anyway, I went to NSA, and then later, when I left NSA, I interviewed with NASA again, and there was something similar, a similar problem. And so I did not I didn't ever end up working at NASA, but I had a lot of friends that did. And I still enjoy astronomy. It didn't stop me from enjoying it. So anyway, what I want to point out about this is that this sun here is about the size of a small grapefruit. And the whole thing is less than a foot across. This is not a scale model. It was fine for getting me interested, but it's not a scale model. Now this one is also not a scale model. And I use this in class when I'm talking about the seasons and eclipses. This one has the moon that goes around the earth even, and which I thought was really cool. This is what I wanted for Christmas one year, so my husband and son got me this. And it's great, but it is not a scale model. What is good about this model, though, is that this sun is the same size as the sun on the Voyage Solar System model that I'm almost 100% sure we're going to get, but not quite 100%. So this is about the size. And I am going to share my screen. I'm going to go to my PowerPoint. It's just a short PowerPoint. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, so that's me. And then I went to the Air and Space Museum 20 years ago and saw the solar system model there, the Voyage Solar System Model. This was actually in 2014. And I've been to it several times. I used to live in that area. But anyway, so you can see the sun is right there. And it's got a storyboard. Storyboard's really important because later the planets, they're not going to be anywhere near as big as this, but they will still have a storyboard. So it will still have nice pictures. It will still have nice write-ups, but the planets are not going to be anywhere near this big. Okay. Now, how big do you think Earth is? Oh, I forgot to say, if you shrink the sun down by a factor of 10 billion, this is what you get. And if you shrink the Earth down by a factor of 10 billion, what do you think is the size that you get? Now, some of you know this, I'm sure, but look, I didn't realize. And even after I was teaching, I was amazed to see this model at the Air and Space Museum at Smithsonian. So just ask yourself, would the Earth be the size of an atom? If the sun is this big, which is about 5.5 inches across, would the Earth be the size of an atom? Would it be the size of the tip of a ballpoint pen? Would it be the size of a marble, which I do not have to show you? And I've got, how about a golf ball, which, I don't have that either. What do you think? Okay, it is the size of the tip of a ballpoint pen. That's amazing to me. That's not the way I pictured. I pictured it like this, even though I know that that's probably not right, but that's the way I pictured it. Okay, so I've got my ballpoint pen and I'm talking about the very tip of it. And I made this handout because I did the same. I was talking about it at the Mosh event on Friday. And so if this is the sun, and it is a picture of the sun, the Earth, can y'all see that? That little bitty dot. I think that's amazing. I still do. And now, how far away would you take that little tip of your ballpoint pen to make the distance between the Earth and the sun to the same 10 billion to 1 scale? You would have to go 15 meters away from the sun. 15 meters. And so my son and I were standing by the Earth stanchion. So we got sun and Mercury and Venus and Earth. So that's where we were for this picture. I think that's amazing. It's just incredible how small our planet is compared to the sun and to the rest of the solar system. So I did this Friday night. I gave people 3 choices of Earth sizes. And then I asked them, and I, put a picture of the sun up there, the right size. And I said, pick whatever Earth you think it should be, and then go stick it on the wall. And unfortunately, this is only about 8 meters when you go all the way to the back. Well, anyway, it was a trick question because no one could get it right. But the person right back there, she wanted it to go further than it could go. She won the prize. So I did give her an Einstein who's moving his finger, think like that. And she was thrilled. So we had a good time. People had the Earths placed all over this wall. So I know people don't know. All right, so for 139 millimeter diameter sun, which is 5.5 inches, the Earth would only be 1.28 millimeters. It's still hard to comprehend. It's an experience. It is an experience. I'm telling you some facts. I'm showing you some pictures, but it is an experience to walk along the Voyage Solar System Model. And there's one more thing I want to do with this before I leave the PowerPoint. If this is the size of the sun on a 10 billion to 1 scale, and we've got the distances also to that same scale, where would the next star be? And the next star is 4 light years away. It's much, much further away than Pluto. Okay, it's our closest star. It takes like 4 years to reach us. So see if you know how far away it would be. A mile, and I'm talking about another ball this size or smaller. It's really smaller, but a ball that would be a mile away. If I said, here, take this and go walk and put it where it should go to be on the scale model. A mile, 10 miles, 100 miles, or 2,500 miles. And this is from Washington, D.C. And it is 2,500 miles before you would get to another one of these. And I think that example is one of my very favorite ones in class. It really gets the point across how big things are. And that's our closest star. And then we go on and look at the galaxy and the stars in the galaxy and the number of galaxies. And it's just mind-blowing. So this is all about an experience, a tool to be a gateway for someone to be interested in this. And the solar system model was started by, the idea for it came from Jeffrey Bennett, who wrote my astronomy textbook, but I did not know that. I did not know that he came up with this. But this is the one on the National Mall. And I always thought it was great, and I wanted one for our campus. I even tried to get one. I tried to get one, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or 8 years ago, and there was just no way. Plus, the one in the National Mall is, I found out this year, it's $200,000 if you want that one. The one that I'm trying to get, the base price is $37,500. With the upgrades, it's over $50,000. And then there's shipping and installation that make the whole thing about $59,000. And I've been, that's daunting. It's daunting. But here's what happened. I always wanted one of these. And January 13th this year, I was sitting at my computer when an email came across from the nonprofit that is offering this, and I'm trying to, it's the National Center for Earth and Space Science Education. I always have to look at it. My brain's too old. NCESSE. I'm always going to get something out of order. Anyway, the National Center for Earth and Space Science Education, the program director of that is Jeff Goldstein. And he and Jeff Bennett are the two main people who got this Voyage Solar System at the National Mall. And there are several in other places. Now, this particular one that you're seeing is the kind that we would get. If you look at it more closely, you'll see it's just a little bit different than the one at the National Mall. The distances and sizes of the planets are all the same, but it's just a little bit different of a design. So I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, I want that. I want that. I just got to have it. Okay. So I called and I emailed. I was the first in the country to do that, either one of those. And I had a really nice talk with him for quite a while. And I learned more about what I would have to do. I started working on getting my Google Earth maps. And that is, let's see, let me go back. Let's see, let me go to, here we go. This is the Memphis one. Let me move that. So I had to do a Google Earth map on campus, of our campus, to see if I could fit a 2,000 foot long Voyage Solar System model on our campus. Because if you go from the sun to Pluto, it's 2,000 feet. And so there were, I could do it with the sun at the north end, or I could do it with the sun at the south end. I decided on the north. And so this is a map that shows where the sun will be if we are successful in getting this installed on our campus. And if you know the campus, you've got the music and theater buildings here. And the engineering building is down this way, but it's off the picture. You can't see it. And then you go this way, and from the sun, you pass Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars pretty quickly. Then you get to the asteroid belt, okay? And then we have to go to another Google Earth map, again, because the scale is challenging. You've got all those inner planets so close together, and then the outer planets are so much further apart. So this is still where the sun is, just like right there, but all of that falls within this little circle. Everything I just showed you falls right there. And then you go on and you've got Jupiter and Saturn. Those are at each end of the library on campus. And then the orbit of Uranus is actually by the physics building, which I was so glad that we could get one by our building. And Neptune is by the University Center. And then Pluto is by the chemistry building. And there's another entrance down here by the railroad track. So, whoops, sorry about that. So there's an entrance at the sun end and at the Pluto end. And the whole point of this is to offer an experience to engage people, to think about, to just comprehend our place in not only our solar system, but in the universe. Well, let's include our galaxy, but also in the universe. And people don't need to be STEM majors to have an experience from walking this. And I did, it takes an ant the same amount of time to go from the sun to Pluto as light would from the real sun to the real Pluto. So that's something Jeff shared with me. So I thought I would share that with you, that an ant would simulate the speed of light in this model. Anyway, I am I have been raising money, and I have been so excited. I got approval from the president of the university within a few weeks, which was also amazing to me. And I could do that. That they said yes, but they said, but you have to raise the money. So it was still this big obstacle. And I put in a chunk, but I have had, let me go to the next page. I had this fundraiser, and it's actually still going on through the end of August, for individuals to be able to give any amount, like any amount, but the lowest that has a name is $20, and that's Stardust. And then it goes on up to about $2,500. And this is a momentum campaign that I applied for and the university offers, and I got it. So I didn't get any money, but they run this for me, and they tell me every Friday what I got. You can give in memory or in honor of people. And I was just real excited. So I've got this much. I think this is today's value, but I've also got some large donors, and I had enough to do matching funds. So I want to, let's see. I want to introduce, I'm going to just pause for a minute, and I want to just acknowledge Dr. Richard Oberg and Dr. Holly Clowers, because they are here and they gave a bunch of money and really, really helped. And I've got several other donors, but they are at the top, and I really appreciate that boost. And then also, I'm going to say that Tennessee Space Grant has said that they're going to give me $15,000. They have not done this yet, okay? But they've committed, said that, and so I just need it by the time we get the thing here. All right, so we're real close. By the time you add up the large contributions and the small contributions and the promised contributions, I'm about 5,000 or a little less away from the whole amount. And I am thrilled to be able to say that, because 59,000 is a whole lot of money for me. So anyway, I'm excited. And I'm the donors that are 5,000 and above will have their names on the entry stanchions at both ends. So I want y'all to know that too. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let's see. Share screen. I really enjoyed meeting Rich Oberg, and I knew he was going to be here, so I wanted to say something. But he just loves his telescopes, and I think he said he has 30 of them. And actually, I have to show a picture. It's just great. He sent me this picture. There you go. That's in his family room, I think. So
we're not seeing it.
You're not.
No, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, shoot. Okay, thank you.
Sure. And
All
thank
right.
you for donating to this cause. We're going to enjoy getting to it. Oh, there you go.
There. So he loves this stuff. And he told me that he actually came upon Dr. Willett, who was the first astronomy teacher in our department. It was before I ever graduated from high school. He came across him trying to set up a telescope at the track, and he knew how to do it because it's been his hobby. his whole life. So I just was very impressed. Okay. So if you can get him to be in the group, you've really got a prize. All right, now I'm gonna go back and tell you, let's see, if you want to go to the Voyage National Program website, I've got it. Oh, I know what I did. There we go. If I click there, you go to the Voyage National Program website. And I just want to give you a tour. Actually, it was our page on there. So home is right there. This is about the experience. This is the community network. And we Voyage the Next Generation communities. That means these are the communities that are getting the lower cost version. And all the communities you see in that list are working on getting in to get one of these. We've only got, let's see, I think 3 communities have everything in and are ready to start a contract negotiation. And I'm almost there. I almost had all the documents in Friday, but just another day or two, and then we will. But everybody has a website. So if you click on Memphis, that's got our physics building, and the Voyage will be along this path right here. So it will go past this fountain. Again, there's going to be a planet here by the physics building, and then the next one is not in the picture. It's by the UC, the University Center. Anyway, it has these pictures. So if you want to see these later, this is one way to do it, is to go to the national site. Now, let's see. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint? Can y'all see the PowerPoint?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So NCESSE is that National Center for, and I told you I can't ever get it right, but for education is in there and space is in there. Anyway, they do the Student Spaceflight Experiments program as well. So I want to show you where that is too. It was right there on the home page, and if you click on it, then here you are. It is a model U.S. National STEM Education Initiative for grades 5 through 16, so up through college. And that is something that we could do on our campus. It could also be something that is done for younger people in elementary school, junior high, high school. It's really a wonderful program. It is an opportunity for us to think about, but it's quite a commitment. It's $25,000 to do this for 1 year, because think about it, you've got all these kids designing experiments, or college students designing experiments to be run on the International Space Station. There's a competition, and each community has one that is selected, and it goes up on SpaceX to the International Space Station, and then an astronaut that is there runs the experiment and gives the results for the people who designed it to analyze what they have discovered. So it is exactly what people really do as far as designing experiments for microgravity. And we don't have anything like this. We don't have anything like this in Memphis, as far as I know. Maybe we do and I don't know about it. But for people who are excited about the possibility of learning physics or engineering, learning from this, and maybe even going to space. I'm just have a neighbor that told me that their grandson is going to Arizona State University and he wants to be an astronaut. There are more and more people that want to be astronauts. By the way, I don't consider Jeff Bezos an astronaut. I know, I don't know if y'all know, but they changed the definition of astronaut after he went up and had his 10-minute trip. But anyway, a lot of people want to be actual astronauts. Okay, so this site has it's once a year that you can get in, and if the community can't do it that year, then you just have to wait another year to think about it. But they've got news, they've got the ISS current location, a live view of Earth, and just fun, cool, exciting things. And this is an overview of the program. Again, I wish we had already done this, but we haven't. I still want you to know about it. And one thing that does come with the Voyage Solar System is there's a Journey Through the Universe curriculum for all ages. So there's something for first through third grade and so forth. Every few grades they have a different approach. And so that's something that we already are going to have. I'm going to go back to, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Jeff Goldstein, by the way, if you want to see him tell about this, he's of course, he's been speaking about it for many, many years. But I really enjoyed watching that. And the National Center for Earth and Space Science Education. There we go. That's the whole name. It's a mouthful. It's really, it's getting the best of me. So this website is a door to all kinds of programs, and those have other programs, and it just can really be a wonderful thing to be able to offer students in the Memphis area. Now, speaking of the Memphis area, there's one more thing I want to say. I told you that I contacted Jeff as soon as I got the email and said, yes, I've wanted this for years for this campus, and I'm going to do everything I can to get it. Okay, and I started on my Google Earth maps within a day or two. And a few weeks later, he said, all these communities have been contacting him, and there were over 100 communities. And he said, over the weekend, I took a map out and I marked where they all were. And I really like this part of the story a lot. He said, nowhere in the country was there more than one entity, community, college, whatever, that wanted this. But Memphis had 4. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome that there was that much interest in Memphis. Nowhere else was there even more than one. But we had, there was us, there was Rhodes College, there's the Pink Palace, and then across the river, Arkansas State University, they have a community college in West Memphis. Those were the 4 that were interested. And I still hope, Rhodes College and our department collaborated with the Pink Palace Friday, stargazing on the lawn, and I look forward to that continuing. I think it's going to be every quarter. And I want to tell you that the next time they have it in October, there's another member of our department that's going to speak. It's Dr. Francisco Muller Sanchez. So this is in October when the Pink Palace, or when the Mosh has the stargazing on the lawn. Dr. Francisco Muller Sanchez is going to tell you about his research. Now, his advisor from when he got his PhD just won the Nobel Prize last fall, which is very exciting. And what he does is he studies active galactic nuclei, and he's gotten two, you know what the James Webb Space Telescope is. He has gotten 2 proposals approved to be given telescope time the first run of the James Webb Space Telescope. So he can tell you all about those if you come to that event, or you can invite him to talk to you to y'all here. But that's just really exciting. We have a new PhD program. It's new. It's a year and a half old. We haven't had any graduates yet, but we have an applied physics PhD program. We have a relatively new concentration in astronomy and astrophysics. And Dr. Muller Sanchez has several doctoral students in astrophysics. Some of them have flown on the Sophia plane and made observations and come back and published their research results. So there's a lot of exciting things that are starting to happen in our department. And so I just wanted to give you a little taste of the other. But what I do is I teach the Gen Ed astronomy and the Gen Ed physics, the non-majors. I teach the music majors and the English majors. Okay. But when I get one of them to switch to physics, I am so excited. And it has happened. It has happened. It's amazing how many English majors are really interested in physics. And it's really just a question of, do they have time to do both? But some of my students that have been the most interested have been English majors. Anyway, I will stop. I can talk, I can go on and on. But I did want to at least get a chance to share this with you. And when it's installed, if everything goes well and it gets installed, you can meet me at Jupiter or Saturn or any planet you name. There will be an opening and you will definitely know about it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Excellent presentation. Wouldn't it be cool to have something like this in your backyard? I mean, seriously, you've arrived.
Your backyard it would be cool if you had a big enough backyard.
I would not qualify, but maybe Merrill could probably fit it on his property. I don't know. We have to measure it sometime. And I'm sure you appreciate me sharing that, but this is exciting.
University of Memphis just about is our backyard, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We did have a couple of questions, so I'll go ahead and share those now. First of all, yeah, this is so appreciated. I'm a 24-year teacher and currently teaching the elementary school where I am on the faculty council, so I will definitely pass this info on to my administration. I will also be using this with my daughter, who I'm homeschooling and is in the 9th grade. So thank you as a teacher and parent for sharing. This is going to be really cool for young kids. Same thing. This should just expand their mind. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to walk this? It's the better part of a half a mile from a grapefruit-sized sun to essentially what if Earth is the size of a ball tip, the end of a ballpoint pen, Pluto is going to be even smaller than that, much smaller.
Oh, yeah.
It's inconceivably.
Yeah,
small.
and I don't want people, I hope people are not going to be disappointed at how small the planets are, but that is not the point. It is how small they are and how far apart they are. And the storyboards will at least be there with the big, beautiful display.
Yeah,
right.
But it's not like we're going to have a great big Saturn. It's going to be, this big.
I was about to say Saturn would be about golf ball size.
Yeah. I think what blows my mind about something like this is how far away the planets are in comparison to how big the sun is. I mean, up close, the sun is mammoth, right? It's the better part of 1 million miles across, 875,000 miles across. But if you scale down the solar system to where 1 foot represents 1 million miles, that sun is about the size of a bowling ball. And by the time you get to Neptune or even Uranus, you're so far away that you can't even see the bowling ball that represents the sun. And yet the sun puts out so much light that we can actually see those planets. It's a miracle that we can even see the planets in the outer solar system when you think about how far away they are. So the inner solar, I mean, even the inner planets, you're 30 feet away when you're looking at Mercury from that sun. By the time you get to Earth, you're 90 feet away, or I think it was 15 meters on your scale model.
Yeah, 15 meters.
Once this is set up, go to where Earth is on this scale model and just stare at the sun and try to wrap your mind around how far away the sun is to Earth. And we see it every day. We're used to it. We get sunburn, and yet it's that far away. Just to even wrap your mind around how far away the sun is compared to where the Earth is. Now go to the outer solar system. These planets, again, Earth is 93 million miles, 1 astronomical unit. By the time you get to Jupiter, you're 4.5 astronomical units away. Saturn is twice as far away, 9.5 astronomical units. Uranus is twice as far away yet, 18 astronomical units. So the size, the scale, the enormity of this scale. And then when you think about the sun, again, it's big, but in this scale model, it's like putting a bowling ball a half a mile away by the time you get to the outer solar system. And yet it still can gravitationally influence objects out there.
The scale of astronomical units means nothing in my brain, right? I mean, I know what it is, but and maybe it's my electrical engineering background and the fact I'm a ham radio operator. The fact that it takes light 5.5 hours to get to Pluto,
right?
That's mind blowing right there. It takes 8 minutes to get here, 5.5 hours to get to Pluto.
And that's the same amount of time it takes an ant to crawl from where the sun is to where Pluto is in this model. That is hard to believe. That is hard to believe. So, and that's just the planets, right? In reality, what we're learning is the solar system is actually a lot bigger. The Pluto is just the beginning of the Kuiper belt. So I think the solar system, in terms of the sun's gravitational influence, goes out to 100,000 astronomical units. That's 100,000 times the distance from the Earth to the sun. And again, we haven't even talked about, the Oort cloud objects and the stuff that's way out. To put it in perspective, we launched Voyager in 1977, and it's already past Pluto. It photographed Neptune, I think, in 1989, and it's already far and away surpassed the orbit of Pluto. So it's already in the outskirts of the solar system. In terms of the sun's gravitational influence, Voyager will be in our solar system for another 50,000 years before it leaves our solar system. So any thought that we can go to the nearest star? Am I saying something incorrect? Somebody please correct me.
Well, it's the two Voyagers have left. It's a matter of the definition of the solar system, but a few years ago, they said it's one of them left and then the other one.
They have left
Left.
the influence of the sun. There's
They,
no,
I mean, gravity doesn't have a boundary. So, you know, you can't say that there's no gravity from the sun. It's
but it's
infinite.
no longer being bombarded by solar wind, right? They're
Yeah.
outside of solar wind. They're actually in but I guess it's technically referred to as interstellar space.
Yeah, they're in interstellar space. But they're still not going to get to the next star for as long as, you know, many thousands of years.
There's a blink of an eye
And Voyager
in the age of
is
the universe.
Voyager is something that I don't know how long it's been since you had an evening about that, but I have the gold records. And Rich, do I see a Voyager gold record behind your head?
Yeah, that's what I
Or
was
is that
thinking
a
it was.
different gold record? Oh, you're muted. You're
I hate to
muted.
disappoint, Joanne.
Darn.
That's actually a Yes album.
Oh, okay. Well, even better.
Better.
I was at the first Yes concert in Memphis in '71. Yeah, Yes came to Memphis. Phenomenal. Wakeman, the whole crowd. Amazing.
Oh my God. I was there.
Okay, well, I've been looking at that all evening and I just had to ask, but I do have a copy of the gold records, and at the 40th anniversary of the Voyager launch, I did have an event at school where I had a record player so we could hear the sounds of Earth that Carl Sagan, you know, got onto those records, including Chuck Berry, and all the pictures that are on there, and is very cool. Were there any other questions? I know it's 9:30.
I have a question for you, Joanne. Thanks a lot for letting us know about this project. I'm just curious if you have an estimate as to when the installation will occur. Do you think it'll be 2022 or 23 or maybe even earlier?
I think it'll be 2022. What's going on right now is that Boulder and Palo Alto, they're getting all the bugs out, basically. They're getting this model, doing the prototype with Boulder and Palo Alto. But the 5 communities, I don't think I even mentioned that, did I? The first 5 to meet certain, to get far enough would get 5,000 off. And I did that. And they've almost got 5 that are ready to go. Boulder and Palo Altos have to be finished and get out of the way before they can start making the ones for those 5. I'm trying really hard to be one of those 5. The only part that I don't know about is the contract, because the very last part, once they get 5 communities that want to do this, that's when they have the contract negotiations between the UM attorneys, and each community has their own attorneys, and the nonprofits attorneys. And unfortunately, the state of Tennessee required to have a few paragraphs added that were not there at all. And we may have a problem because I can't do anything about that. So that's the big problem. That's the big problem. So I don't know. And then if I can't do it, I don't know what I'll do. Find a nonprofit to do. I don't know. Give all the money back. I hope not. Anyway, so we're this close, but I'm not 100% sure if the contract's going to go through.
That was my question, I think, is if for whatever reason this didn't go through, then the people who've donated to the I mean, we'll go on the
Well,
assumption it's gonna go through, but
Well, we know everybody that donated. I mean, we have records of all the donations. And so certainly we could refund everyone's money. I was starting to wonder if the state of Tennessee, you know, those parts of the contract are because U of M is a state university, and whether or not there would be some cool way to still get it in Memphis, but not at the state.
Not on university property, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not giving up. But the other problem is the pandemic has made the price go up for all the materials. And it's only this first run that they're going to honor that price. So if we don't get in on it, we're going to lose our 5,000 and the price is going to go up. So a lot is riding on it.
So let me ask you a quick question. You know, we have our Facebook page, we have our website, we can help promote your fundraiser. So
Thank
we'll
you.
get links. We'll get
It's
links
easy
up
to
that.
get. It's easy to find if you just go to the physics website for the University of Memphis. It's on the front page. You
We'll
click
make
on it, and then
easier
you're.
than that.
Hmm?
We'll make it easier than that. Click
Okay,
here.
well, yeah, there is a link. There's a link, but I'm just saying, you know, rather than write out HTTP blah blah, I'm just saying the easiest way to find the fundraiser if you're telling someone about it is go to the physics website, and then it's right there. But it will go until the 31st. So
We'll get it
thank
up there
y'all.
tomorrow.
yeah, let me just show it to you. I actually brought it up. This is the, are you all seeing this?
Yeah.
Hopefully you are.
Yeah.
Okay. momentum.memphis.edu/project/25271. Obviously that's a mouthful. So what I typically do, just do a Google search for Voyage Solar System, SYS. I can spell.
Here you go.
Project, PROJECT, Memphis. And then that should
Jeremy,
bring you
we'll
up
put up
right
we'll
here.
put up direct links on the MAS webpage and on our Facebook page. There'll be direct links. It'll take them straight to that.
Excellent.
And the donor wall is there, and it shows the people that have, if you click on that little blue tab next to description, yeah, it has all the different giving levels up to 2,500. Of course, we've gotten bigger gifts than that are not in here, but you can give in honor or in memory of someone. And I did one in memory of each of my physics professors that has passed away, including my astronomy teacher, because I took the course I teach back in 1976 from Dr. Willett. And so I always remember Dr. Willett. And he's the one that Rich helped with the telescope. So all these connections.
As far as the disbursements, can you put it on a credit card? Do you do PayPal?
Yeah.
Okay, anything?
You can, yeah. It's down further. I think maybe you have to fill that page out before you get to the next page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see here, Stardust, Asteroid, Moon, Shooting Star, Jupiter, Sun, Voyager, and then you can even go beyond that if you want. So lots of different levels. So, and you've come a long way. We started announcing this a few months ago, and I think you were about 5% in. So now you're up to 68%. So you've definitely made some progress, covered a lot of groundwork in the last few months. So.
Well, if you count this and the other larger donations that were the matching funds and things, we have all but about 5,000. I just have to get that Tennessee Space Grant money But I don't need it to get the fabrication started. I only need it when it gets delivered. I have to have the rest of the money when it gets delivered.
Yeah.
Good luck with that,
5,000 with your
Joanne.
name on a plaque.
I've been
Thank
working
you.
with Tennessee Space Grant for a while, and I'm just going to say good luck trying to get that money.
Uh-oh. Don't say that. Okay. Well, she already told me we could do it. She said, we can do this.
I've heard that
She's
too.
already
but
committed.
I'm hoping you'll have more luck than I have.
Okay. Thank you. Then I will bother her no. I'll check back. Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank you.
This was
you.
fun.
Very excited. I can't wait to walk this. If you're only 5,000 away, I'm very optimistic that you're going to get there. So this will be an institution for Memphis. And like you said, the fact that four different groups were interested in this says a lot about our community. I'll say one other thing. There have been multiple institutions that have been a part of our community and had an opportunity at this. The fact that there was essentially no competition and a willingness to collaborate to make this happen for Memphis as a whole, as a community, really speaks highly of all the individuals involved. So not just Joanne and her efforts, but the other groups that were interested, that were willing to say, hey, go take this. This is still going to be good for our community. So that also is invaluable. So I just want to say that as well. The fact that there's no competition, that it's just basically, this is good for Memphis. So
I do want to clarify something. The provost really wanted this on our campus. And so we didn't collaborate at the beginning. But now that we, he wanted it on our campus, not just someplace in the Memphis area. So we said, okay, we're going to do one, but they can do one too. Everybody can do one. Everybody can do their own, or the other three could collaborate. But now that once we get one, I want everybody to collaborate for the education, for the experience. I want all the teachers to bring all their classes to see it. I want to do whatever I can at the Pink Palace, the Mosh. I'm sorry, I'm a native Memphian. It's always going to be the Pink Palace.
terrible name, MOSH, terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really hope that we can all help each other, help the community. And one of my things that I've always wanted is for everyone to be able to look through a telescope if they never have. And I know that y'all do that all the time. You do it all the time. But there are so many people that have never looked one single time through a telescope. And the more that we can bring people in, it's just, you just can't, I'm like this about a solar eclipse too. So, I just want everyone to be able to have these experiences if they want them.
We're the choir.
Yeah, this is why we do what we do. When we get clear skies, we didn't have, go ahead. I'm sorry. Somebody want to say something?
I was going to say, thanks to the Memphis Astronomical Society, there are fewer people that haven't seen a star.
Well,
That's right. Y'all do a really important service.
Yeah.
And we don't have an observatory on campus. We can set up a telescope at the edge of the track where Dr. Willett set up the telescope, but we don't have an observatory. That was what I used to be trying to get. But when I took astronomy, Dr. Willett would take us to the roof to look through a telescope, but there's no way to get there except up a ladder in a broom closet. We didn't have steps, we didn't have an elevator, and we still don't. So that's why I wanted an observatory. But I'm going to settle for the Voyage Solar System Model and let the MAS take care of the rest.
That's what we do. We're happy to do it. So speaking of which, again, tomorrow night, the 7th, if it's clear, we're planning to be at Burton Sugar Farm and for our dark sky observing. And again, the following Saturday, we're going to be at Shelby Farms. So for those of you who are looking for, something in town that's accessible, mark your calendars. And again, if you have a telescope and you'd like some assistance, then August the 14th, we're planning to be out there around 7 o'clock. So, and we'll send out notices. Let me go ahead and share a screen here as we're wrapping up. Again, this is the website. We'll put this link out so that you can learn more and make a contribution if you'd like to. We're getting very close here. So, let me go ahead. Yeah, and I'll have links to these two documents also. I do this every meeting, of course, and that's the sky map for the month, which is August, and then also our membership application. But really the easiest thing to do if you want to join is just go to memphisastro.org, fill out your details, but you can do it this way also. Again, if you're not on our email list, you can go to joinmas.com and you can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube and Twitter. And that's the website to join MAS if you want to be on our email list. Got a busy month coming up. Every Saturday, we've got something going. Next Saturday, we're at Shelby Farms. Tomorrow night, if it's clear, we're at Burton's. 2 weeks from now, we've got the Astrophotography group meeting. If you want to participate in that. And I think the 2 Saturdays after that, we're going to be back at Burton's. So literally the next 5 Saturdays, depending on the weather, we're planning to get out and do some observing. So feel free to come on out if you're interested. So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap up. Anybody want to say anything else?
Thanks, Joanne.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, everybody, for logging in. Let's make this happen. And we'll meet again in, I think it's 5 weeks, because the first Saturday or the first Friday in September is Labor Day weekend. So our September meeting will actually be the second Friday in September, but we'll send notices out regarding that as well. So we got 5 weeks, a busy 5 weeks coming up. So you guys enjoy. Dog days of summer. August is here. Let's hope for clear skies, and we'll see you at our next meeting.